We can all think back to a time when let's be honest, we jumped into something that we shouldn't have, or we started too fast, or we didn't fully think through the situation we got ourselves into. For me, I remember when I ran my first 5K. I had trained, and I promise you I wasn't fast, but I thought I had a grip on what I was doing, right? Well, we got there, the horn went off, and away we went. Naturally, this being the first time I'd ever done this, had a little adrenaline going. I didn't have a watch or anything like that on to kind of tell me, hey, here's what your pace is. Well, I noticed about half a mile into the race, it was 3 miles, by the way, I started out way too fast and I was way ahead of my usual pace. I began to tire out very quickly. There was an older guy that I had passed earlier in the race, but you know what? Sure enough, as I was slowing down, there he came back, just trotting right on past me at this pace. In that race, I started out like a bullet, but I struggled to even complete it at all. The man that I mentioned, I imagine he'd been doing this for a while, and he knew, don't overexert yourself on the front end. He didn't start out as fast as I did, but he ran the whole race a lot smoother and a lot easier than I did. See, there's a lesson here for all of us. But specifically, if we think about the pastorate ministry, it isn't good just to jump into ministry too quickly without discerning if this is what God is calling you to do. And it isn't wise to come in guns blazing without learning and growing as a minister. 1 Timothy 5 says this, don't be too quick to appoint anyone as an elder, and don't share in the sins of others. Keep yourself pure. When thinking about purity, it takes wisdom, patience, and discernment. Paul then goes on to tell Timothy to take time to take care of himself and to be patient with people. And Paul essentially says the cream will always rise to the top, both in good and bad works in people's lives. Eventually, what's done in the dark, good or bad, it's going to come to the light. I've run a few 5Ks since then and even one 10K. Well, partly because I learned from my first mistakes. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Be patient with each other. Be patient with people who are seeking out an opportunity of going into the ministry, but also be wise. Whoever is your pastor, whoever leads in your church, that's an important position. We shouldn't be so rash to get somebody in there that we forget that their character is way more important than their giftedness. Always remember to keep the Lord first in everything you do. Change begins in you.